Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, I have discovered something about myself, and that is, I really am bad at climbing and playing new decks. I just don't really understand how to work them. I make a lot of generic mistakes, and I just can't really climb. However, there is one deck, the one you're looking at, that I can climb with. That is Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc. This deck, as well as Dark Lords, I always seem to do well with. Even though Dark Lords are currently weak right now and can be beaten by just about anything, this deck is not the same. And I feel like just because I have put in so much time and effort into both of those decks, I feel like I have a better understanding and are able to more easily grind out games that normally I wouldn't be able to win. And, yeah, that's basically it. I just discovered that I'm actually pretty good at this deck, and, like, only this deck, which is sad. I don't think I'm bad with other decks. It's more so that I just am not good enough to really climb because I'm not quite as familiar, and I make those mistakes that are a little bit too egregious for me to continually win games in a row. However, with this one, I tend to be able to win whether I go first, go second, whether my opponent has a crazy board or not. I just figure out some way to do it. I also am able to deck build this deck very well. If you're looking at this list, this is just kind of what I have accumulated that works the best for me. Even things like the 1 Effect Veiler instead of the 3rd Imperm seem to be a little bit better just for me because, you know, you can activate it as a hand trap, and it's a level 1. So, like, you can activate it on the opponent's turn going second, as well as, you know, it's just overall a slightly different. Plus, it's a level 1. The things like the 2 Maxi, the 2 Nibiru, the 2 Droplet, it just all kind of works together and plays very well together. And I ended up, earlier today on stream, we went 2 hours playing a different build of Tri-Brigade. Constantly win, loss, win, loss. We were playing other decks yesterday, or the day before as well. Yesterday and the day before, and it was again win loss, win loss, win loss, and I immediately pick up this deck and immediately get 6 in a row. It was hilarious. So let's just quickly do the card by card. I've already mentioned a few of the hand traps. We're running the 1 Effect Veiler, the double Maxi, triple Ash Blossom, the double Nibiru, the double Called By, and the double Imperm. As for the main deck monsters, we have for the Lyriluscs, the 2 Cobalt Sparrow, 2 Sapphire Swallow, the triple Warbler, the double Barrel Canary, and the double Wagtail. As for the Tri-Brigades, we have the triple Nerval, the double Karos, double Kit, and the double Fractal. And as for the rest of the monsters, we have 1 Apex Avian and 1 Barrier Statue. Yes, I know, Barrier Statue, ew. But it just ends up working for me. As for the spells, we have the 1 Feather Duster, triple Bird Call, double Called by the Grave, and the double Droplets. Droplets is very good in this build because you want monsters in the graveyard, and you can trigger effects like the Nerval as well as the Kit. So, pretty nice overall. As for the extra deck, we are playing the 1 Utopic Draco as well as the Utopic Future, so 1 each of those. We have the 2 Recital Starling. This card actually has an effect that is very valuable that most people don't utilize, which is the first effect. It boosts up a monster by 300 attack and defense for each material attached, which allows our our Simorgh to get very big. A 3000 attack Simorgh is way more difficult to deal with than a 2400. So, yeah, being able to go into a Recital Starling after going into Simorgh is very nice. Next up, we have the 1 Assembled Nightingale for Zeus plays, and the 1 Ensemble Blue to end on a board that really deals well with special summons. And then the 1 Downard and 1 Zeus. As for the Link monsters, we have the 1 Almirage, the 1... Double Dragon Lords, the 1 Ferrijit, the 1 Simorgh, the 1 Apollosa, and 2 Shureg. So we don't actually have a good way to grind with both sides of the deck, so we really do have to utilize both sides in order to get our more grindy games through. And we have a lot of grind games. That's what we ended up seeing mostly throughout this little time where I ended up playing the deck. So, yeah, it came up a lot that I didn't have 3 Shureg, or I didn't have Access Code, or something like that. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's hop into the replays and see how this deck performs. Before we get on to the rest of the video, did you know that 70% of the people who watch my content aren't subscribed? If you end up liking the content, consider subscribing. You can always unsubscribe later if you end up not liking it. Anyway, let's get on to the rest of the video. Alright, so this first one that we have is one of the silliest games I think I've ever played. So my opponent is going to set 3 and pass. We have 3 hand traps in our hand and a Harpies, so I'm feeling pretty good. We're going to drop the Harpies. I'm thinking this is Eldritch, and then they flip up Crossout Designator, and I go, huh? So out comes the Harpies Feather Duster for them. They're going to banish it, so our Harpies doesn't go through. I'm going to activate the Fractal, and out comes the Called By. Oh, that feels so terrible. At this point, I'm just going to set the Ash and pass. Hopefully, Maxi and Ash Blossom is enough to get us through this. And, my opponent has bricked, apparently. Though I'm not doing much better. I draw the second Ash, so now we have 2 Ash Blossoms set. They reveal that they are on Live Twin with the Sunny Snitch. I'm going to Ash Blossom that, and we will proceed to my turn again. I draw Bird Call here, which is very nice. So I'm going to Bird Call to try and bait out a Ash Blossom. Turns out, they don't bite, or they don't have one. But, did you know that you can make Smorg with 2 Ash Blossoms and a Sapphire Swallow? Now you do. So we're going to summon out the Smorg, and then we are going to go for the Recital Starling and activate its effect to burst. Okay, I need to draw something here. So I choose to activate the effect of our Max C because I need to get a guaranteed draw here. So I draw 2, and it turns out, not the greatest of draws. I'll take the Imperm, but oh dear, this is not looking good. They're going to go and special summon 2 of their monsters, neither of which is the actual Kiss-a-Kill nor Leela. So, or I guess it was Kiss-a-Kill, but they just chose not to activate it for reasons. I don't know why. But there you go. They're going to activate their Kiss-a-Kill Link monster, which we will promptly negate. They're going to go to battle, walk over our monsters, and attack us for 3k. I need to draw, like, Karos off top, or Nerval. Nerval does exactly the same thing. Now we just have to hope and pray that this is not Imperm, and it's Droplets. Well, okay, not the greatest. But okay. We still have Almirage, so we're going to go for the Almirage here. We're going to search out the Karos, and I have to actually activate the Karos, because if I don't, I think I just die here. So yeah, we're going to pitch the Cobalt Sparrow in order to go for Karos. Then we can go for Karos in order to grab up the Ancient Warrior's Oath. This allows us to then proceed to the battle phase and walk over our opponent's monsters and bounce the Nibiru back to hand. Keep in mind, that Nibiru is in hand. It will come up. We're going to proceed to the end phase. They are going to then normal summon an Ash Blossom and link it for Almirage. And then activate Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed is going to summon out another Parallel Exceed. And at this point, if they go into Baguska, no. We don't want them to make a Baguska or something like that. That really is just very difficult for us to out. Especially given the fact that we're playing, at this point, mostly Exe monsters. We do have a few more Link monsters, but our effects would be negated to Link summon them. So I am going to bounce the Parallel Exceed by using the Ancient Warrior Oath, hoping that they don't have any sort of follow-up, which we know that they have Nibiru in hand, but it's more so like, I hope that they don't have a random Link monster that they can go into with these 2 monsters. Turns out they don't. Play passes back to us, and we can now use the Karos effect. I'm actually going to normal summon the Kit here, because I actually don't have any targets for Karos to banish. So I have to actually normal summon the Kit, which was a very good top deck, and we go for the Ferajit here. Ferajit can then special summon out the Fractal off of the search of the Nerval, and then we can go for Fractal here in order to go for Shureg, banish their Parallel Exceed, and proceed to damage. So we're going to attack them for a lot of damage, and then link off into an Apollosa. We still know that they have the Nibiru in hand, and that was our 5th summon. But this does get us a follow-up. Now, I do make a mistake here, and I actually don't keep the Kit here. I actually keep the Nerval. But the thing is, I actually don't have enough targets to make another Shureg. So I should have gone for Kit there, just because it does have enough attack to attack over a Live Twin. Now, I am going to negate the effect of the Nibiru in hand, just because I kind of need to. So we know they have Parallel Exceed and the Nibiru, and they're going to go for the Sunny Snitch. They're going to activate the Sunny Snitch to grab the Leela. They're going to normal summon the Leela. I'm going to negate, and play passes back to me. Now I really need to see Karos, like, specifically, or, I don't know, maybe like a, I don't know. There isn't really much that I can see here that's very good. And I see a Called By, which is okay. We're just going to proceed to battle. They're going to deal a little bit more damage to us. They're going to special summon back their Almirage, and I will set 2 and pass. The called by is okay, but it honestly probably doesn't matter. At this point, I'm feeling okay, and we draw a Cobalt Sparrow, which is very, very good. So we're going to go Cobalt Sparrow into the Recital Starling. Again, Recital Starling is going to boost up our Apollousa. It doesn't boost it up enough to make another negate for the Apo, but at least it's something. So we're going to search out the Karos and the Celeste Wagtail. We're going to send the Celeste Wagtail to the graveyard in order to special summon out the Karos, and go 1, 2, 3, 4 into the last Shureg. That is, once again, 4 summons, because guess what? Nibiru doesn't count flip summons. We're going to banish their set card, which was a Crossout Designator, and proceed to battle. Holy crap, that game was terrible, but also amazing. Good game. Alright, and this time we are going first. And, yeah, we're going to go for the Turquoise Warbler, which we ended up having in hand, and that allows us to grab to special the Celeste Wagtail to grab the Bird Call. We're then going to go for the Recital Starling in order to search out the Nerval, and then activate the Sapphire Swallow to special summon out the Nerval and go into the second Recital Starling. We're going to send the Nerval in order to search out Barrel Canary, and this is a pretty standard combo for this deck. We're going to grab the kit as well, so that we can pitch it off of the Karos. Now, I do this in a bit of a different order from what I normally do, and the reason for this is because I actually lost the coin flip, and my opponent chose to go second. So, a little weird, but okay. So I'm guessing at this point, if I haven't seen a hand trap, most likely they're playing a lot of board breakers, so I just wanted to make sure that I don't get locked into Xyz or something like that. But yeah, in all honesty, I could have just immediately gone into our Utopic Draco, go Utopic Future, and then into the Utopic Draco with these 2. But instead, I decided to first go for the Simorgh. And I also put my Utopic Draco Future over here for some reason, which clogs my zones for unknown reasons. Anyway, I am going to then activate the effect of our Bird Call in order to send a Cobalt Sparrow, because I believe, yeah, we haven't actually activated the Cobalt Sparrow this turn. This allows me to go Barrel Canary, bring back the Cobalt Sparrow. Cobalt Sparrow can search the follow-up with the Nerval, and then we can go for the Ensemble Blue. And then we can also grab a Celeste Wagtail to grab another material for this. We're then going to end on the Barrier Statue as well as the Utopic Draco and the Ensemble Blue. I'm feeling pretty good about this until I see Pot of Duality, and we're playing against Flunder. So this board is absolutely terrible against this deck in particular. They Book of Moon are one guy that actually does anything, and then they are going to go for the Flunder stuff. So Robina comes out, and then out comes the Eaglin. I don't know why they chose to go second here, but they did, and it is really problematic. Also, given the fact that they are playing against, they are playing Empen, that means basically all of our Link monsters are not going to be activatable, and this Barrier Statue is going to hurt us more than it is them. So, there you go. They're going to add back the Eaglin as well as the Robina because they're a bad player, and then add the trap. They're going to then attack into our face-down monster. Now, if you didn't know, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So, there you go. They just gave us a free negate. We're going to draw the Fractal. I'm going to drop the Feather Duster here because I do want to deal with this right now. So yeah, we're going to negate the Robina, and we're going to steal it. We have to link off all of these guys into an Apollousa because we literally can't do anything else. Now, I actually have a play to get lethal right now. I normal summon the Fractal, I activate the effect of the Fractal in order to summon out the Shureg, which could potentially, maybe, it's not lethal, because Empen is a crazy card, but if they only have one bird in hand, which we know that they don't, it could have been. But yeah, if you didn't know, this says once per battle, not once per turn. So Empen can just constantly negate your attacks or decrease their attacks. However, what we can do is we can attack in with the Utopic Draco Future, and since, well, yes, the activated effects of our face or our attack position monsters are not activatable, we can still utilize the generic or lingering effects. They're not lingering effects, but the just effects of our monsters as long as they are not activated. So this not being able to be destroyed by battle allows us to go into Downward Magician into Zeus. So now we have a 2-mat Zeus, and I'm pretty sure Empen or just Flunder in general can't really out 2 material or 4 material 2 activation Zeus. They then decide to not attack into Zeus for some reason. I don't know why, but that gives us a Shureg, which is awesome. They're going to go to the end phase. I'm going to send the Shureg, as well as the entire field to the graveyard. They're going to Ash Blossom our Shureg, which would have searched out something like a Barrel Canary, which could have ended the game a little bit easier. Now, again, I make a little bit of a mistake here, because I normal summon the Nerval. Instead, had I normal summoned the Fractal, and then banished for the Shureg here, I would have had lethal on board. or close to it, I guess. Closer to it. But yeah, I decide not to do that because I am the dumb. Anyway, we still have Almirage, so I could just link off the Nerval for the Almirage, and then we can go Karos here and pitch the Fractal, and then we can go and banish 2 more in order to get out the Ferrigite, which is now lethal damage. However, the reason that this was a worse play was because it didn't play around the Nibiru. So had I gone and activated or summoned out the Fractal, gone for that effect, go for the Shureg, and then searched out sent to the graveyard a Nerval, we could have then searched out the Karos, go for Karos, summon out the Karos, and then that is lethal under 5 summons. So a little bit more wonky, but it ended up working. Alright, and here we are once again going first, and we drew a very good hand, I will say. We're going to start off with the Karos to pitch the Kit, just to kind of bait out something like an A Maxi or what have you. Kit's and Nerval search Fractal in this instance. We're going to banish 2, and that is going to get impermed. I kind of sensed that they had an imperm, so there's that. Anyway, we're going to then activate our Bird Call, and we are going to search out the Cobalt Sparrow, which will then allow us to special the Wagtail to search another Bird Call. We're then going to Sapphire Swallow to special summon out 2 of our monsters to grab up the Barrel Canary off of the Cobalt. We're then going to go for the Recital Starling here, and they are going to Nibiru. Okay, I still haven't normal summoned, so I'm just going to normal summon the Fractal and activate the effect in order to go for 3, which allows us to search out to summon out the Simorgh. I'm then going to send to the graveyard a Sapphire Swallow. The reason that I do this is because it allows me to get the most material onto our Recital Starling to boost up our Simorgh by the most. So we're going to add the Cobalt Sparrow to our hand and search the follow-up in the Nerval. At this point, I'm just kind of hoping that the Barrier Statue actually does something, but with the fact that they already have the Nibiru, they can just walk in and then proceed to play from here. Turns out, Fateful Adventure comes out, and they are going to add their Griffin Rider and pitch their Water Enchantress, which they also had, because of course they do. And then they will add the Draco back. Now, Simorgh, as well as the Recital Starling, are not targetable, so they can't actually Draco back to send either of those away, which is very nice. And with how big this monster is, it's very difficult to deal with. However, they're playing pranks, so this is going to take a while. They go for the Doodle-Doodle-Doo here, and then they're going to activate their fancies in Chain. I don't know why they changed it that way, but I guess, okay. What if I had Ash Blossom? They don't. They know that I don't. I think I searched out both the Bird Call and the Nerval, so there's that, but what if I did? Anyway, they're going to add back their Dropsies as well as their Pandemonium, and then they will activate their Pranks, discard a card. They're going to discard the Dropsies in order to grab another token. This allows them to go for the Bow Wow Bark here, which can add cards back to the hand while also preventing destruction effects for their Prank hits. However, notably, it's destruction effects. They cannot be destroyed by battle nor card effects, so there's that. I actually grab a Karos off of the draw, which is pretty nice, but at this point, there is one thing that they can do that will immediately win them this game, and that is go for the Battle Butler on the summon of the Karos, because that means that they'll have another Battle Butler for the summon of another monster that I would like normal summon, and then at that point, I don't have any materials with which to work with, and I just lose the game. So there's that. Anyway, they do end up negating the effect of our Recital Starling while also going for their Battle Butler off of the Bow Wow Bark. So out comes the Battle Butler. They are going to negate the effect of our monster. They're going to summon out 3 monsters while also dumping a place, and gaining a whole bunch of life points. I'm going to go for the Karos here, and at this point, the Karos does resolve, and we get to search out the Fractal. I'm going to activate the Karos as well, and then they choose to activate their Battle Butler, banishing their Meow Meow Mew for its effect. Out comes the Shureg. Shureg effect is going to activate. They are going to then tribute their Battle Butler, and I'm still going to get rid of their token. Token just seems like the best one to get rid of, and I get to search out the Turquoise Warbler for free. Because guess what? Shureg has an effect to search. Did you know that? I'm sure you did. Anyway, we are going to search out that second Bird Call. It's not going to be all that useful right now, but this does mean we can go for the assembled Nightingale. We're going to punch in for a little bit of damage, and then go into Downer into a Zeus. And mind you, this is without a normal summon nor activating a bird call. So we have quite a board that we can make. So we're going to go for the bird call here in order to grab up the Barrel Canary, and then we are going to normal summon the Fractal, activate its effect in order to go for 2. We're going to summon out the Ancient Warrior Oath, and then we are going to dump to the graveyard a Cobalt Sparrow, which we have not utilized. Here we will activate the effect of our Barrel Canary in order to bring it back, and then search a card off of the off of the Cobalt Sparrow, searching out the Nerval for additional follow-up. Then we will activate we will link off into our Assembled Nightingale, Ensemble Blue, and then we will equip it with the Wagtail, and at that point my opponent concedes, realizing they don't get to play the game anymore. And this was quite possibly the funniest game that I have ever had. Reason being, I drew 4 hand traps. What? And it's against Tri-Brigade. So, realizing that Kit is the card to hit, reason being, it prevents them from getting more materials into the grave. Yeah, we're gonna hit the Kit here. And then they're going to set 2 and pass. Fantastic. I actually have, like, nothing that I can do. I do add a Cobalt Sparrow, which is pretty nice, but we're going to do the same play. We're going to go normal summon Kit and go into Almirage. Kit is going to send the Nerval. Nerval is going to search out Fractal. You may be wondering why I searched out Fractal. Well, the reason for that is because I'm almost certain that they have something like an Imperm back here or a Droplets, which means that our effect of the Karos, which had I searched that, would have been able to special summon itself and banish 2 to go for a Link 2. Probably would not have resolved. So instead, I search the follow-up with the Fractal and hope that my hand traps, the Effect Veiler, the Nibiru, as well as the Imperm, are enough to get us there. So, yeah, that's basically what I do. They draw Desires for turn. Well, okay. And then they set 1 and pass. This is going well. I draw the Barrel Canary, which is rather interesting. This means that my Fractal should have been a little bit stronger, but alas, it was not. So I'm just going to set the Cobalt Sparrow and pass. They're actually going to activate their Droplets, which we did kind of detect, and out comes the Nerval. So Nerval effect is going to activate. They're going to search out their Fractal. Pretty good search nonetheless. They're then going to activate their Fractal effect in order to send another Kit to the graveyard. In order to activate the Kit to send Nerval, Nerval will search out another Kit. So that's 1, 2, 3 Kits, all of them in use. They're going to normal summon the Kit, and then they are going to activate the effect of the Almirage to get it out of the Link Zone, so that they can utilize that Link Zone for a 1, 2, 3, 4 Shureg. I'm actually going to activate the effect of our Veiler, and then they will chain their Revolt. I kind of also figured one of their cards was a Revolt, just given the fact that, like, what else do you set in this deck? Like, I highly doubt that you have an Imperm and a Droplet and something else to set, unless it's Revolt. I'm going to actually negate the Shureg because I do want it to... I do need to keep the Cobalt Sparrow. I kind of want it to go to the grave for the Barrel Canary here. So, there's that. Anyway, Nibiru here. Yeah, they summoned 5 times. So, there you go, Nibiru. Did you know that Revolt is an entire activation requirement for Nibiru? Like, if they activate and resolve 1 Revolt for a Shureg, you just slap down Nibiru. It works. Anyway, we actually have the Turquoise Warbler here, which allows us to go for the Recital Starling. Now, if you don't know, this thing is popping up right now because Cobalt Sparrow says that my monster, Recital Starling, cannot be targeted while it is equipped, or while it was exceed using Cobalt Sparrow. So my opponent is going to activate their Effect Veiler, realize, oh no, they have full combo, and proceed to just leave. Alright, good game. So overall, I have covered this deck many times on this channel, not nearly as much as something like Dark Lords or Despia, but all in all, this deck is what I really enjoy playing and what I feel like I play the best. For some reason. This deck has a lot of different things that you can go for, a lot of different intricacies that you can basically flex to beat your opponent with. You know, the small interactions like Shureg's first effect being able to, second effect being able to search a card, so using it as link material for things like the Apollosa or the Samorg is very nice. Also, you know, knowing when to go for the Barrier Statue versus the Apex Avian, being able to, you know, keep your board clear for something like a Turquoise Warbler, and the like. All of these are small intricacies that really do help out, and not every Tri-Brigade player has utilized in the past, and that's what I really like about this deck. Sure, is it the most fair? Not really. I mean, it does set up Samorg, which is constant advantage, as well as Barrier Statue, so there's that. And with the Droplet, it's nigh impossible to deal with the Barrier Statue. Almost no deck can actually out the Barrier Statue while under while also having droplets. So, feels bad. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, then why aren't you playing more droplets? Well, the simple answer for it is that it's not nearly as good as having multiple hand traps, like an Imperm and a Nibiru, or an Effect Veiler and a Called By, or not Called By, Ash Blossom. So, there you go. All in all, though, this deck is very fun, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm sure not everyone else does, and I'm sure that this video won't get nearly as many views as my other ones do, but all in all, I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated, and if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.